Good morning, afternoon, depending on when you're watching this. Today is our asynchronous day, and we're looking at this worksheet right here, the properties of parallelograms and special parallelograms. There is a quiz tomorrow on this topic, okay? So what you're going to have is questions that are asking you about the properties. You may have to write down the properties, so you may want to make sure you know them, okay? And you're going to answer questions similar to these where you're going to use the properties to solve for missing sides and angles. I am going to create so what you're going to do is watch this video of the first 2 pages from here, okay? Work along with me. And then you are going to finish the last 2 pages, numbers 1 through 9 here. And in today's folder, there is a quiz, but it's just going to count for homework, but it's the green puzzle piece, okay? And you're going to record your answers to this, and then we'll go through this tomorrow before your quiz. All right? So let's take a look at the first page. You are going to need a compass, so make sure you pause the video if you don't have it and go get it. All right, but the first thing we're going to do is actually take a look at these properties, okay? So remember the 6 properties for all parallelograms, okay? All parallelograms are going to be, number 1, that opposite sides are congruent. Well, it's a parallelogram. Let's put down the one that would hopefully come to mind. Opposite sides are parallel, okay? So that's going to be the first property here that hopefully you recognize. All right. Then we'll write it by hand. Second one we're going to do is that opposite sides are congruent. All right. We have opposite angles congruent. We have adjacent, or the word we used actually instead of the word adjacent was consecutive. But the angles that are next to each other inside the parallelogram, okay, are supplementary, so they add to 180 degrees. All right, we have the diagonals bisect each other. All right, and the last one we have is that it's a combination of these first two, if you remember, that one pair of sides is congruent and parallel. All right, and Kate's here. Say hello, Kate. All right. Now, this first parallelogram, and you're going to need a compass for this because we're going to talk about the properties here. Okay, is what is a parallelogram with right angles? And hopefully you're noticing that this is a rectangle. All right, so if we use our compass, we can actually measure the distance from B to D. I might need to put your compass here. Okay, and we can see that if this is the distance from B to D, we can also use that same length now to measure the distance from A to C, and we'll see that it's the same. So these two diagonals, we know, are going to be congruent. So if we draw them in, lines BD and AC are going to be equal to each other. All right, so the two properties of a rectangle that are not all parallelograms have are all angles are right angles, essentially. Okay, so we have 90-degree angles, and that the diagonals are congruent. And so the second shape here, what is the name of a parallelogram with all sides the same length? So this is a rhombus. And we're going to do two things. Number one, we're going to construct the angle bisector of angle BAD. And then we're going to do the perpendicular bisector of AC. So if I take my compass, I'm going to place the sharp point on point A, okay? I'm going to open up my compass and I'm going to draw a circle around A that intersects angle BAD twice. And now we're going to keep our compass the same length. We're going to draw an arc in the middle of our angle, okay? Somewhere in the middle from where circle B or A intersects this angle. So there's 2 points. Place our compass on the first point here, okay? And then we're going to draw an arc that goes to the middle of the angle. And then we're going to switch. So move the compass over to the second intersection point here. Try to be exact as possible. Draw a second arc. So this represents the middle of this angle. And then all we have to do now is draw a line. Use your straight edge. It goes from A through the intersection, and there is our angle bisector. All right, the second one we're going to do is we're going to draw the perpendicular bisector of AC. So we're going to do the football. Okay, so open your compass more than half. All right, we're going to swing and make an arc above and below the middle. Switch over to point C. Try to be exact as possible here. Draw those circles again. And now we're going to draw the line that connects our football. And what you should notice, oh no. So what I'm going to do is this, because I can't draw right on that point. So, but actually, let's fix this real quick. So draw your line in. I'm going to edit mine just so that it's doing what I want it to do here. All right, and what do we notice? We should notice that the perpendicular bisector, right, of BD and the angle bisector actually create the diagonals. So remember what this tells us. This tells us a few things, right? This tells us a few things. Now I'm going to take a picture of this. You keep doing your thing. I'm going to pause it. You won't even know what I'm doing. You don't even know what I did because I'm done, right? So the perpendicular bisector, okay? So what this tells us is two things. Number one, that the diagonals are bisecting the angles, and that these diagonals are also perpendicular to each other, okay? And they bisect. So, but the bisecting part is a property of the parallelogram. So the three properties of a rhombus we talked about yesterday are that all sides are congruent, that the diagonals are perpendicular. Remember, that means that they form 90-degree angles. And that the diagonals bisect the angles. Okay, so last one here. What is the name of the parallelogram with all sides the same length and right angles? And this is a square. So it's not enough just to say that all sides are congruent because rhombuses have that. It's got to have a right angle as well. Okay, so we're going to do another construction here. Construct the bisector of angle BAD. So let's see if you can do that. All right. Remember, we're bisecting angle A. BAD means A is the vertex. All right. Okay. Construct the perpendicular bisector of AC. So we do that same thing we did a second ago. Look at that, just happened to pick. Perfect length. Okay, Kate. My daughter's got to go to her class. Have fun. Love you. Just talking to my daughter, by the way. I think I got to go a little bit bigger, but that's all right. Okay. And there we go. So once again, these are the angle bisectors, and we can also measure and show that the line segment BD is the same length as AC here. And so we're indicating not only are the length of these diagonals equal, which makes it a rectangle, but they are also perpendicular and bisect the angles, which makes it a rhombus. So that has all 5 properties of a rhombus and a rectangle. Okay? All right, so we're going to write down the 5 properties of squares. So remember, they have both the properties, okay, of the rectangles and the properties of the rhombus. So the rectangle, if you remember, has 4 or all 90-degree angles. All angles are 90 degrees. And it has diagonals that are congruent. The rhombus has all sides congruent. Okay, it has diagonals that are perpendicular. And it also has diagonals that bisect the angles. All right, so you're going to use these properties to help you solve these questions. And then you're going to upload your answers from 1A. So what did you get for X? What did you get for X? Okay, and they'll just be fill in the blanks. So you just need to put X in, okay, for these questions, and you'll be good to go. All right, that's it for today, guys. Finish that up and have a great day.